Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're plunging pretty deep, you could say, to look at a creature that, well, everyone thinks of as ugly.
Right.
We're talking about the blobfish. You've definitely seen that picture.
Yeah.
The one that looks all deflated and honestly a bit miserable.
Yeah, absolutely. And for this deep dive, we've pulled together some really interesting stuff that goes way beyond just that one viral photo.
Okay.
We're going to explore where it actually lives, its natural habitat, and, the real reasons behind that. Let's say less flattering look it gets famous for.
So the mission is to figure out what this fish really looks like down there in the deep sea.
Exactly. And why that image we all know is, well, pretty misleading.
Okay, so let's start with that title. World's Ugliest Animal. That's quite a label.
It really is.
It came from the Ugly Animal Preservation Society back in 2013. And the idea, actually, wasn't just to be mean.
No, it was about awareness, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. To get people thinking about a species that aren't, conventionally cute or cuddly.
And the irony now.
Oh, it's amazing. This same fish was just named New Zealand's Fish of the Year.
What a turnaround. Seriously.
It really makes you think about how we even decide what ugly means, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. And the key thing here is how much our view of an animal depends on where we see it.
Right.
That ugly photo that went everywhere, it's mostly just what happens when you take these deep sea animals out of their natural high-pressure environment.
Which brings us neatly to Mr. Blobby. That specific fish.
Yes, Mr. Blobby. The face of the franchise, so to speak.
Pretty much. His photo is probably what comes to mind for most people. He was caught, I think, back in 2003.
That's right, during a research trip between Australia and New Zealand.
And he wasn't alone, right?
Yeah.
He was just one of many things caught in a trawl net.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't like he was just floating near the surface looking like that.
It's that droopy, gelatinous look.
Yeah.
That wasn't him swimming around happily in the deep.
Not at all. That's the crucial point. To really get it, you need to picture the world they live in. Blobfish hang out at really serious depths. We're talking, 3,300 feet down to maybe 400 feet?
Wow.
On the continental shelf, down into the deep sea proper. And think about it, below about 650 feet, there's basically no sunlight.
So cold, dark.
And intense pressure, just immense pressure down there.
Right, so imagine being pulled up from that much pressure through all that water into surface conditions. It must be, well, traumatic for the fish.
Oh, incredibly so. Hauling
Yeah.
them up that fast causes major physical changes.
Yeah.
One of the articles we looked at actually compared it to heating something that's glued together and the glue starts to melt.
That's a vivid image.
It is, and it applies to a lot of deep-sea creatures, especially bottom dwellers like the blobfish. The pressure change alone can cause tissue damage.
Okay, so if they don't look like a melted mess down there, what do they look like? Paint us a picture.
All right, so picture this. Underwater, in its element, the blobfish has a pretty large head, actually, and then its body tapers back, kind of like a big tadpole shape.
Okay.
And instead of scales, like most fish we think of, they have this really loose skin.
Loose skin.
Yeah. And here's the key. It's the crushing pressure of the deep ocean water that holds their body together, gives them their structure.
So the pressure is actually supporting them.
Exactly. Take that external pressure away, like when they're brought to the surface.
And they just sort of fall apart.
Pretty much. They
Wow.
lose that form. It's fascinating how their biology is just perfectly tuned for that specific high-pressure world.
Makes sense. They must have some pretty cool adaptations then, beyond just the shape.
Oh, definitely. Things that seem weird to us surface folks, but are vital down there.
Like what? I read something about a missing swim bladder.
Exactly. That's a big one. Most bony fish have a gas bladder, right? To control buoyancy.
Uh-huh.
But imagine having a bag of gas inside you under thousands of pounds in pressure per square inch.
Yeah, that wouldn't work out well. It'd just collapse, or worse.
Precisely. So no gas bladder. Instead, they've evolved other ways to manage.
Like having less muscle.
Right. Significantly less muscle mass. And their skeletons are different too. They're much less dense. The research calls the bones weakly ossified.
Weakly ossified. So like not fully hardened bone, more flexible.
Kind of. Think maybe more cartilage-like than dense, heavy bone. It reduces their overall density, helps them stay buoyant without that gas bladder.
Okay, so less muscle, weaker bones. What else? I remember reading about some kind of matrix.
Yes, the extracellular matrix. It's this layer of tissue, apparently mostly water, sort of like a gel.
Like a watery cushion inside them.
That's a good way to think about it. It likely provides structure, support, and helps with buoyancy, too, all while being able to withstand that pressure, like internal jelly scaffolding.
Huh. Clever. And does this affect how they eat? All these adaptations?
Absolutely. They're not chasing things down, way too much energy needed for that.
Right.
They're ambush predators. Basically, they just sit there or float just above the bottom.
Waiting.
Yeah, waiting for something tasty, small fish, maybe some crustaceans and vertebrates to drift close enough. Then they just open their mouth real quick, create suction, and gulp it down. Bam! Dinner served.
Super efficient. Especially if food is hard to come by down there.
Exactly. The deep sea is vast, the largest habitat on the planet, as one source put it. Food can be sparse, so a low-energy lifestyle makes a lot of sense.
Plus, maybe not many things trying to eat them down there.
Probably true, so they don't need speed or heavy armor, just patience and good suction.
Okay, so let's recap the main thing here. The blobfish that looks like a grumpy puddle is only like that because it's dead or dying out of its natural deep-sea high-pressure home.
That's the takeaway. That famous image is a distortion. It's what happens when you pull a deep-sea creature out of its environment too quickly. The pressure change does that.
It's actually a really powerful example, isn't it? How an animal's very form can be shaped by and dependent on its extreme environment.
Totally. That viral pic isn't the fish itself being ugly. It's a snapshot of, well, physics acting on biology when it's taken out of context.
Yeah.
A pretty rough journey to the surface, basically.
Makes you wonder, then, how many other deep-sea creatures, or creatures from other extreme places, look completely different in their own homes?
Right. Things we've maybe only seen as specimens, looking nothing like they do alive and under pressure or in extreme heat or whatever it is.
What other assumptions are we making based on these, surface-level glimpses?
It definitely challenges how we perceive life, doesn't it?
Oh.
Shows our perspective is often quite limited. A lot more going on down there and in other extreme places than we probably realize.
Definitely food for thought. Well, thanks for taking this deep dive into the real blobfish with us.
My pleasure. It's a fascinating creature once you get past the meme.
Absolutely. Until our next exploration, everyone, keep asking questions.